Difficult roads often lead to amazing destinations, but sometimes they throw unexpected challenges that test your limits and define the journey. In this second episode of our Botswana overland adventure, join us as we navigate the wilds of Kwai and face a cascade of misfortunes on our way to Elephant Sands. What went horribly wrong? Stay tuned to find out. We'd hardly started our afternoon game drive to Dumbo Hippo Pools from Northgate in Moremi when we reached a stretch of soft sand and found that the Hilux wouldn't engage four-wheel drive. The 4x4 light flashed on the dashboard, but the bakkie stubbornly refused to change from high 2 gear selection. So here we were, stuck in high 2. As any overlander knows, it's really bad news to find yourself in a remote and very sandy area without four-wheel drive. There was absolutely nothing we could do about it, so we carried on with our game drive. The Okavango Delta is an ideal habitat for sesubis, as they thrive in open floodplains and grasslands. I love how elephants rest their heavy trunks over their tusks. It's lovely to watch African spoonbills and yellowbilled storks feeding together. Although their feeding techniques differ, they can coexist without competing. There's an elevated wooden platform at Dumbo Hippo Pools that gives you a safe vantage point to observe all the birds and animals that come to the pools. We saw hippos, but they were on the far side of the pool.
Hi, you made it.
Time for a dope.
Yep. Come on, you can take the fast route down.
What's that?
Slide. Or fall.
Cheers.
Cheers! This is a wonderful spot to relax in the late afternoon, have a drink and watch nature doing what it does best. The birds didn't seem to mind us being there, and it was lovely to see them up so close. We actually spent too long at this amazing spot and then had to push a bit to drive the 15 kilometers back to the camp before the cut-off time. The light at this time of the day is magical, and it gave the drive back an almost surreal feeling.
What is it?
Seeing the honey badger was an unexpected treat. It was the first time the others had seen one. How's this for a beautiful Botswana sunset? Around a crackling campfire, we discussed how our holiday plans going forward would have to change because of our car problems. This morning we're off to visit Magotho, which is about 20 kilometers from Northgate. The roads near Magotho are very sandy, so we really hope we don't get stuck. But first we have to cross this iconic wooden bridge over the Kwai River. Everyone who comes here has to be filmed crossing it, and we're no exception.
Chimney rules!
Chimney rules. Yay, made it!
This is the village of Kwai, a little place where modern life meets deep cultural traditions. Visitors can buy the basics here, but supplies are limited. We stopped at this bridge hoping to see some animals, but there was only a single open-billed stork.
In the distance.
This is amazing scenery, hey?
The Magotho area along the Kwai River offers visitors spectacular wildlife encounters, and the campsites here are managed by the Kwai Community Trust, which is dedicated to conserving the area and generating income to support local development and education projects. It's famous for its unfenced campsites, where elephants, lions and leopards can wander through the camps on their way to and from the river. If you're enjoying this video, please like and subscribe down below. Thank you. It's much cheaper to camp here than in Moremi because the sites are less expensive and no park fees are charged. The area also feels much more immersive when it comes to wildlife encounters. They obviously don't have ablution facilities like in the Moremi, but the structures that have been erected are totally adequate and blend in well with the surroundings. I wonder if Pete was secretly hoping that we would get stuck so that his Jimny could rescue a Toyota. When you drive across this bridge with its creaking wood and gaps, it feels like a throwback to earlier, wilder times in safari history. Rob and Pete checked out the bakkie to see if there was anything they could do to restore 4x4. They ruled out fuses and then tried cleaning the sensors.
Rob, you've got the easy part of this job,
Absolutely.
the clean part.
Very technical.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, their efforts to clean the sensors and restore four-wheel drive were unsuccessful, but our disappointment was quickly overshadowed by a troop of monkeys that raided our campsite.
Open bag. This one's got two in his hand. This one's got one.
There certainly were a number left. I knew if there were a couple, they're not found from lying here. That's why I just threw them.
An elephant visited our campsite during the night, and the sound of breaking branches so close to us was a bit scary, but all was well. Today we're heading out for a Makoro trip, which should be great fun, so an early start is in order. We collected our guide and lead polar from Kwai Guest House, as the booking was done through them, and then made our way down to the river to meet the other polars.
Yep.
Those are the boats there.
Morning. Sorry, I was just holding myself in.
Hello. No hurry in Africa.
On purpose, with the name badge so I can remember.
Yeah.
All right. Orientation briefing first.
I'm Paul of Ski.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we're going this far.
We can put your cushion on top of that one, still okay. Yeah. Joko. See you guys. Are you okay?
Fantastic.
Lovely. What a feeling, Had, going down the river on a Makoro. Wow. Amazing.
Sensational.
These traditional dugout canoes were once carved from sausage or ebony trees and used for centuries by the locals to navigate this labyrinth of waterways. Today, ours is made of fiberglass to help preserve the trees, but the experience remains just as authentic and gently serene.
There's a fish eagle up there.
That's birds like you hear the name, the lily trotter.
Yes.
This flower represent that bird, the jacana. It's
Oh,
whereby that white stuff
can you just
on
lift
the
it up?
flower.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the
Like you
sun
see
is
that
just-
color from the bird to the neck till to the head.
Oh,
White
okay.
color.
Yeah.
And the whole body is brownish. They represent the inner parts of the lilies.
Of the leaf.
The inner parts of the lilies. You see?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
How are you?
Good, good, thanks.
Are you enjoying your mokoro?
Oh, love it, love it.
Okay. That's good.
How lovely that the elephants came down to the water to welcome us back. It's amazing to be so close to them. Mike dropped the guide off at the guest house, and when we told him about our car problem, he suggested that we go back to Maun via Mababi, as the road would be a lot easier to drive than going back through Maremi. We left at first light, hoping to reach Elephant Sands for the night if our car could be repaired in time. This is the route for the first leg of our trip today. Some parts of the road were pretty bad, and we did have a few moments where we wondered if we'd done the right thing.
There's a very sandy patch ahead.
These guys ahead of us took us on a route that we wouldn't have used on our own. It's always helpful to have local knowledge when you need it, isn't it? The guide was right though, and we managed to get through all the sandy stretches without getting stuck. Our first priority when we got to Maun was to take our bakkie to Halfway Toyota in Ngami. We had to wait 2 hours before they could attend to the vehicle, and as the clock ticked on through the afternoon, we realized that our travel plans for the day would have to change. We spent the night at Audi camp and set off early to go to Elephant Sands and Kasane. So we've just left Audi camp and where we spent the night. We had a bit of a setback yesterday in that we had vehicle problems. Just explain what our problem was, Rob.
Well, somehow or another we got stuck into high 2 and couldn't change into any of the four-wheel drives. So we had to come back from Kwai to Maun in two-wheel drive. Then when I took it into the garage, they tried to fix it and managed to get it jammed into low 4. So it was impossible for us to proceed in low 4, obviously, so we had to wait at the garage. I think it took about 5 hours. They finally managed to bypass the whole big 4x4 system, so we now have a high 2 and nothing else, which is fine for the rest of the trip, I think.
Yeah, we would have been in trouble if we're going anywhere where there's deep sand. But so far, most of the rest of our trip is fine, and we should be all right with low. What's it low to?
High 2.
High 2. Sorry, high 2. So now we're on our way to Elephant Sands and then on to Kasane, which should be fun. So we're looking forward to that. So let's see how we go on this leg of the trip. This is our route today. It's a 607 kilometer drive to Kasane, which should take about 8 hours, with a break at Elephant Sands. We didn't realize quite how soon disaster would strike, and when it did, it was one calamity after the other. When we stopped for a break, we noticed that 3 of the 4 brackets holding the load bars for the rooftop tent were broken, and one of the load bars had started to shift. We were at risk of having the rooftop tent coming off.
It's not that you're sticking, you're on the
It's
bottom.
fine.
I think you touched it, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
It was very hot and tiring for us waiting for the repair to take place, and we had to keep a lookout for elephants as they are plentiful around this area.
But you mix them together and they become hard as a rock. So we just lay them down equal measures side by side. And then once we start stirring, then the process will start to cure it and to get it going. So I just want to...
Pete used a steel solution to weld the brackets on temporarily, and we held thumbs that it would work.
Next thing.
This is a veterinary checkpoint to control the spread of foot and mouth disease. Tires and shoes get a soaking before you can proceed. Disaster number 2 of the day. Trying to make up lost time just landed us in trouble with the traffic police.
So the steel came loose, and now they're trying to tie the rooftop tent on with a towing cable, towing rope. So let's see how this works, just to keep the roof on, the rooftop tent on.
The road between Gweta and Nata is pretty bad for quite a long stretch. Arriving at Elephant Sands brought the next challenge. Pete turned too slowly and got stuck. Thank goodness help was on hand. And Pete wasn't the only one. With no four-wheel drive, we were soon sitting ducks as well. The lodge is a real oasis in the desert, and we soon settled down for a well-earned drink. This is an amazing spot to see elephants up close.
There we go.
We didn't linger too long because we still had quite a long way to go to get to Kasane. What a day of setbacks. Thank goodness the rest of the journey went smoothly. We hope you've enjoyed sharing the journey with us so far. Join us for the next exciting leg of our trip as we explore the delights of Chobe National Park, Sanyati, and Victoria Falls.